Suning might just need the same amount of time that it took them in spring to get this identity going. We need to remember they also do not have the same coaching staff, so there are a lot of differences for Suning this time around.
Lost Chashao over to JDG. Just note that Suning picked red. I have to clarify, I apologize, losing team does pick side selection, and Suning went back on the red side. So EDG prioritizing once again on Viper.
Yeah, again, it's just an expected pick, and Suning saying, hey, draft wasn't the problem. We're going to go back to these 2 picks. We still know the Udyr can work. Again, he was 2 wins on it before their last match. And for EDG, I don't see a reason to shy away from what you did before. I think the Olaf and I think Gragas would still be a fine answer for them.
Rinse and repeat, similar drafts, same drafts even towards the second ban phase. EDG thinking about it a little bit more, and if we do see the Gragas, then I guess we see either a response of the Aatrox coming up, or what else do we have in this phase, though? Do you remember? My brain, not good.
We had Aatrox, but I think that might be the pick where Suning actually changed and maybe try to give Bin a bit more of a hard counter. We do know that Bin, his champion pool is a bit extensive, but no, completely same drafts.
Yep, the exact same. Bin didn't have his Camille or his GP and just goes back into the Aatrox. There's smiles on the face, and, you know, maybe that's a good thing running into this game too. Suning morale is quite high, and we're just going to see the same bans going forward.
Yeah, I think it was Jace and Azir, if I do remember correctly, for the side of Suning. So, again, I wonder if they think in terms of execution, or maybe they just want to change their mid pick and try and go with something that does have more agency in that mid jungle 2v2. Because that's the only way I can really realistically see them play out differently early game than what they had done last game.
Well, EDG banned the Rakan once again. I'm just heading towards the exact same draft. I'm going to wait 15 seconds. Lyric, if Suning want to change, you talked about agency through the mid lane. I want to see if EDG actually go for the ban away. We get the Zoe ban this time, though, instead of... What did you say last time? Was it the Azir? What do we have?
Yeah, we had the Azir ban come out from Suning last time around. So if Suning are going to follow suit right, it would be the Rel pick on 4, but maybe this time around you take away the priority mid laner and you look to counter pick in the support role. You could actually just take away the Orianna from Scout yourself. And again, Orianna is such a flexible pick, but hey, EDG actually read that that's what Suning wanted to do. So they banned that one out. And now there's no obvious answer. You could go to Syndra for Angel. We know was one of his best champions in 2020. Again, has a lot of really good mid lane matchups. Scout does play some of the niche counter picks, though, like along the lines of the Echo and so on and so forth. So it could be a bit of a riskier pick, but yeah, like that just might signal, hey, we're going to go back towards Zarel. We wanted to pick the Orianna. EDG found that out, and that's about it.
All right, so you can't get that counter pick towards mid lane unless Scout preemptively locks it in.
Well, I mean, Scout has to preemptively lock it in.
Of course. But, you know, maybe we just get like the Azir get pushed down in the end.
It would be insane. They just don't pick a mid laner and all hysterics and you're 500 IQing us. But the Syndra we talked about being hovered right now, it is the first thing that jumps out to my mind in terms of what is best that's left open. And in terms of, actually juking us at the last second and going for the Alistar. In terms of what else is left open, there isn't too much that comes to mind. We would have something along the lines of the Galio, which we've seen picked into it quite a bit. If Suning wanted to go that route, you could have the Galio kind of shadowing alongside the Udyr. The other thing, I guess, would be something like the Twisted Fate, which, once again, you're going to lose the laning phase up against the Syndra, but you're providing that global pressure. And that feels like that might be where you need to index into, is going with something that can give you pick potential, because EDG are just way too strong in these kind of front-to-back 5v5 team fights, but it seems like Suning don't want to get away from it.
I want to add that scaling element. That's what come with Suning's Azir, putting it back onto Angel. Remember, in his last series, he just picked up a pentakill, and Angel returns to the Azir that was banned away in Game 1.
Angel did have a lot of pop-off moments on Azir in 2020. I don't particularly think it was one of the champions that comes to mind when you think of Angel, but he definitely did have a lot of clutch plays back then. And it's still going with the similar style that they had last time. Once again, it's a champion where you want them to walk into you. You have a lot of zone control. You have great ways of disengage, especially this time with the Emperor's Divide. Yep. And for the side of EDG, it's the same. We're in very similar situations. You should be able to get mid-prio early by taking aggressive trades to where Azir is going to just try to focus on pushing out that wave. They will have a bit more kill pressure, I'd say, on both sides this time. You could go for the Emperor's Divide play onto Syndra setting up a Udyr gank, or of course a Scout of the Week to set up Olaf coming through the mid lane. So Similar flavors with a bit more aggression.
I like that. A bit more aggression to add in what was a very similar draft. The only big changing for EDG was that Orianna into a Syndra. And not seeing the Victor in the mid lane for Suning, that also feels quite nice. So we'll see if there's any difference this time around with the iteration of mid laners. I guess mid lane is the only thing changed for both teams here, Lyric. So that is a similar flavor. It's like when you get ice cream and there's chocolate and then there's chocolate chip.
No, I have the better one. When you have vanilla, and we've talked about this, charcoal vanilla. If any of you have had charcoal vanilla ice cream, you understand. Because it tastes the same. It tastes the same, but it's awesome. It is awesome.
It's just been, just rub some charcoal over the top of it, even though I know that's not how ice cream works. But there we go. A brand new flavor in front of you. One you've never tasted before, but you probably saw it in game one. EDG versus Suning. It was a game one that turned into a quick disaster for Suning. It was a game one that EDG took control of, and with a bit more kill threat, with a bit more versatility, I'd say, we go into a game two of very different drafts. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Chinese New Year coming up, and we are going on break from this Sunday onwards, meaning this Sunday is the last day of broadcast.
For 2 weeks, 14 days, no LPL.
As invade, this is what we want to see. Pulverize up. I think Meiko's okay here, though. So Suning just going to walk out, and nothing was burnt on either end.
Suning did get the ward down on the red buff, though, so they at least will get some information down to where EDG haven't been able to find anything yet. Coming into this game, I still like the draft that EDG has similarly to game one. I do think the adaptation that both teams made makes sense. Again, Azir gives them more agency in the mid lane, and that's the thing we were talking about a lot for Suning's draft. Yep. But at the same time, EDG also just picks something with higher kill pressure and more proactivity themselves. So, again, I think it sets up well for both sides. If this does get extended into the late game, this time around it should be fully Suning favored. But EDG found such an advantage last game, stuff like that didn't even come to matter. And it should be the same this time around.
Yeah, we can talk more about scaling and the conditions of the composition when we get there. Just note that it is a leashless start towards the top side from what I could gather. Viper and Meiko moved to lane to get priority first after getting invaded on a little bit after the ward was dropped by Suning. Bottom lane leashed Lyric, and I know you like talking about this, so there's going to be a bit of an EXP difference, a bit of a lane shove started out by EDG.
Yeah, Suning's bot lane didn't miss out on any EXP, but it did at least neutralize that laning phase of Scout with a really good trade, because if you do come in kind of neutral, Xayah against Kai'Sa, Xayah does have a really easy time clearing that wave out against Kai'Sa level 1 because of the way, your feathers work. So EDG's bot lane being able to get to lane first, find that advantage, threaten the level 2 like they are doing now, and start zoning out Huanfeng and On is nice to see. And man, these mid laners having a bit of a grudge.
Yeah,
going back and forth.
Got to look at the pot take here. Scout uses the last of the corrupting potion. One left for Angel, but Scout will have that HP advantage till now. Good Comet there with the spear. And Angel moves to level 3. So does Scout. So feeling pretty good after dodging that last scat of the week. Angel going to do so again.
Again, they're playing off each other's timings, right? The soldier, the Q comes out from Angel. Scout then walks forward, looks for the W. W mana cost is quite high early on, so it can be quite a rough thing to look for trades with, honestly, because it does blow through your mana pool extremely fast as compared to just your Q spheres. So not hitting that one is pretty big. But hey, like you said, they're just going resource for resource. No corrupting potions on both sitting on that one biscuit. And in terms of early ganks, I would say it favors EDG a bit more because you have the setup there from the Syndra, but it just gives Scout a nice back timing. I wonder if he's just going to pick up the likes of a Dark Steel, but no, actually just goes for the Doran's Ring itself and has a TP to get back to lane smooth. Oh, but just going to be able to walk instead.
All right, well, Wave in a good position. TP not used by Angel either, so both these mid laners are going to have that in case they need it after we've seen the trades. And also want to note with mid lane trades, let's remember that you always want to get those early trades so that you get more stacks on the mana flow band. Flandre getting tracked out here pretty easily in the top side.
The thing that's interesting about the mid lane matchup is now Scout obviously comes in with a full resource advantage, also technically a small item advantage with that Doran's Ring. So he actually should be able to put some threat onto Angel and potentially even force Angel to have to blow his TP and gain that TP advantage in the mid lane.
Yeah, I should correct myself. Angel hasn't actually backed, of course. So you talk about the resource advantage. Scout now pushing aggressively. Is On doing the same. Pheromancy crash down onto Viper. Doesn't take too much damage, though, and the pulverize back from Huanfeng means that Viper can push up once again and get some autos. But Meiko and Viper lose out the trade. Again, we talked about this last game. There's a lot of sustain in these 2v2s on both sides. So as they push the wave in, it shouldn't be too much of a hassle for Viper and Meiko.
And Huanfeng and Honor playing off the wave state of their bounce back, right? They built up the slower wave. I'm guessing Viper and Meiko maybe feeling a bit dangerous to play far up because we saw that Olaf was on the top half of the map. And they're not able to take a trade into a double stacked minion wave. And I love it. We see Scout get another recall once again, actually able to buy the tier this time, and Angel again still sitting under turret. So Angel now probably going to go for that recall, and again might have to burn that TP. Scout's going to have a massive tempo advantage. He could instantly just push that wave into turret if he does spam his abilities on the wave as well.
Been really nice timings from Scout. You know, still having the TP at 5 minutes in the game. Not something you normally see when mid laners have been this busy with each other. He's moving up, and you can see Angel moving from base now. Scout waiting, not actually pushing the wave for now. It's slowly making its way towards the turret, as Jiejie is going to use this kind of window to start the dragon, and Viper and Meiko stop the backs in bottom lane as well. This is nice wave positioning from mid and bot.
Yeah, I like what Scott did instead. Instead of pushing that wave instantly, he goes first to get a ward. Doesn't want to get cheesed by anything like an Udyr, kind of just being right around that corner. And again, he's in a good spot. We do see Azir going back for the Merc Tread, so if a Scout of the Week lands, it will be much more annoying for Scout to look for that all-in, especially at the level 6 mark where we know Syndra just has so much burst coming out. And Sofm going to be playing onto the top side of the map, but Scout doesn't want to let that go.
No, he doesn't seize the scuttle.
But he has to.
It is Udyr, level 6, who's moving up behind the turret of Flandre. We did this in game number 1, but Flandre doesn't have the explosive cast. He needs to clear this wave and get the experience so that he can hold off if a dive comes a second time around.
I mean, he's a lot of minions, Asterix. A lot of minions. So, Bin not forcing this one in anytime soon. Flandre just hit that level 6 mark, so we should be completely fine. Jiejie also going for the reset, so we'll get towards his top side. But Sofm taking both these camps is actually really nice for him. We're seeing him build up this advantage. And, it seems like EDG realized it at the last second. Let's remember, Scout did see Jiejie go into his top side jungle. Yep. So, nothing going to be lost for the side of EDG's jungler.
We're having a real big brain early game. Sofm, not sure if he walked over the ward there. But EDG making the trade. It's all about lane states, and it's all about the knowledge turning into power. Suning might actually turn this into a bit of an invade. Scout takes it away and onto Sofm. He flashes through. Smite comes down. It's secured, I believe, by Jiejie as they turn for the engage onto On. And he becomes off. First blood goes down. Angel with the Emperor's Divide sends them packing straight away. Suning lose it all for first blood given.
That was a really ballsy blast plant coming out from Sofm, just jumping into 2 members. Sure, On was there as well, but Scout would be in a much better position to impact that skirmish. Oh my god, hysterics. Is this game 1?
Dude,
is this game 1?
This is deja vu. I also want to reiterate, I believe Sofm got the smite down because blue buff did not go to Jiejie. Scout does not have it. I'll see if I can track that one for you, ladies and gentlemen, but the steal for first blood still makes it a worthy trade for EDG, as that first blood also went to Jiejie once again.
Again, we are mirroring game 1, but I agree with what you're saying. I really like the way we've seen this early game played out for both teams. It's been slower in terms of kills, but I think we've seen both teams transferring pressure really well. Again, that blasting plant, in my opinion, a bit questionable. Scout in a much better position to impact. Oh, and it does look like Sofm was actually able to get his blue buff.
Scat of the week put it against the wall, and he had the range.
But still, they were able to pick off On. They are able to force out the Emperor's Divide from Angel. And they are the ones moving to Herald a bit late, though. It does look like Xayah and Kaisa should arrive here at similar times. But Flandre is not in a position to really be able to impact.
He's not. He's coming from the wing, but it's already at 1400 as Flandre moving in, waiting once again. Good scout of the week onto On. And this name forever going to get me as Sofm gets the Herald successfully. They're going for the engage. Meiko absorbing up. On into the backline. Viper takes him down. EDG do not have this fight as Bin is in the World Ender. It's a Flying Dragoon as into Jiejie's little World Ender himself. His end is nigh. Bin against the wall, sends him back to the turret. Scout, that was gorgeous. As Viper has to deal with 2 versus 1. The blast code over the wall, he didn't want that. He doesn't have a flash anymore. Save me, he says, as he tries to take Angel on the way back. EDG have abandoned him, and Sofm will get the kill.
I just feel like Suning, had much superior positioning. They kind of had 3 angles you needed to worry about because Flandre had to worry about the members on Herald. the other members also had to worry about that same stack, and then Huanfeng also had a different angle coming from the red buff jungle ramp. So it was very hard for EDG to look to take a fight. There were too many angles they needed to worry about. Flandre wasn't in a good position. We will see that here. Again, you have these 3 core members here having to worry. Flandre on a different side, and then Huanfeng also having this separate angle and has his ultimate, so doesn't have to worry about too much in terms of engage coming out onto him. On does go down quite early, but still it is also a trade for Meiko. And then we see Bin able to just get right on top of Jiejie, but still, he's in a very weird, peculiar situation on the opposite side of Scout with the Scouter of the Week open. And then we're going to see here with Viper on this side. And I do think Angel is going to go in, flashes, hits the blasting plant, and it leads to Viper's doom.
Viper actually flashed over the Krug wall, or Raptor wall lyric. So he went over to the enemy side and was just like, well, I'm not going into the middle of the lane, and ends up meeting his doom as well. A fight rather, for Suning that was very beneficial. This time around, Sofm even picks up his mythic off of it, and we see something normal lyric. We do not see the Iceborne. Instead, we get the Turbo Chem Tank and that first kill of Sofm's game. So has the Herald. We'll see where he puts it down this time. It's got about half the timer left on it.
Thing is, we still have bot and mid prio for the side of EDG, so it should even out to controlling bot side river, and I think they will just start up this dragon outright. No TP on either top laner, so it does look like Sofm just gonna opt into clearing his jungle, maybe go get some deep vision into EDG's top side, and then end up taking that top side Scuttle Crab as well.
Similar game plans in mind. Keep invading the top side while Jiejie is busy bottom, and this time around he has more to work with as Flandre is interrupted with the body slam. But Bin can't follow up any further. Sofm was nowhere nearby. And we get the dragon. We get an Ocean Soul this game, lyric. So even more important for EDG to play for as Jiejie hovers around the bottom side but is on a ward.
They do know he's here, but still, they're going to be able to back off. And panning out like we thought, right? They get the topside Scuttle, and now we see Sofm going into the enemy topside jungle. Of course, doesn't have any wards he can place down because he does have that Herald up. I think he also had the red trinket anyway. But going to be getting some information, does go for the back as he doesn't spot out the wolf camps. He's going to start coming around the spot side because, like you highlighted, they know that EDG are posturing for this dive, and Sofm wants to be here to counteract this play.
Which means he's going to have to put the Herald down very early in the lane because it's going to time out by the time he gets down here. So Sofm 2 games in a row are going to have a suboptimal Herald. There's Meiko and Viper. They're going to be backing away from the turret. Picked up a
Not if they kill everyone, Hysterics. If they kill everyone, it'll be optimal.
That is 6 head as EDG moving back into the jungle. Stolen away. Thank you very much. Scout meets him with a different maker, and Blue Buff's on a mission. Take me home, he says. Another good scout of the week. Gets away from Sofm, but EDG want to follow this up. Flash away. When he has Attract and Repel, they don't follow through, and Angel now has to be careful as well. It's Sofm, he's got a couple of seconds more, lyric. Look, this Herald has to go mid.
Yep, you're right. They didn't find all the kills, like I said. Sad. It doesn't always happen that way. But Flandre, once again, juking out these Infernal Chains and just juking out all the damage coming out from the side of Bin. He's actually much closer in terms of CS than he was the last game. I think he ended up down by 50. And this Herald's going to get a charge, but still not going to mean too much. Sofm does get a bit of gold in his pocket.
And he just burned his flash, getting caught out. Scout of the week there. Let's press the R button because that's how we outplay. But the turtle! Oh, man. Man, like the south of America, I was waiting for the Turtle Man to come out, but it doesn't save him in the end. Scout picking up the kill, 2-0-1. Once again, he's fed.
And the thing is, you actually didn't even really lose out anything on the map because Flandre is going to get to topside in time to pick up these 2 waves that Bin wasn't pushing fast enough. I think he did initially start to move down towards the fight. You have Viper down in bot side, but Jiejie now doesn't flash though.
He's an angry whatever that thing is. As Jiejie flashes away, Empress Divide catches him out. On goes over the top, but he's still dead. He'll get knocked up once and twice, and a kill. Shut down, given over to Bin.
He accepted his fate at first. He got ulted, and he's like, well, I'm not going to move. And then he realized it's going to take too long, started to wiggle around a little bit, goes down in the end. But I agree, and this was one of the plays we highlighted for Suning this game, right? It's one of the nice things about having the Azir. You can battle back for the wave control, and you have a bit more kind of agency to look for aggressive plays with these Azirs. We've been seeing a lot of really aggressive Emperor's Divides in our recent Azir games. Scout having a bunch of them up against V5 where he was a main initiator for the team. So again, it's really cool to see more of a fight back this time around, but still EDG have stacked those 2 dragons. So they're on their way towards that soul point with that next one.
Fits our narrative of what we're talking about with mid laners, right? Historic versus the young Cubs. And recently, Angel's best champion has been this Xayah. Historically, Scout, one of his best, has been that LeBlanc and the Xayah. So the Faker understudy right now getting caught out in this game. He gives the shutdown over to Bin, and Bin's in a very good position after that. He's got a bounty on himself. He has the Gore Drinker, and he's got 20 CS up over Flandre. So Bin in a much more commanding position in this second game, Lyric. We'll see how they utilize it, because Suning have to catch up on Dragons. They have to keep these objectives going, while EDG are trying to get some more gold, thanks to this bottom lane turret, and that's first turret blood given over.
Yep, it's going to give them, again, a pressure point to play around. They're going to be able to start rotating from this point into Boxside River if they can't get Cryo in mid. It opens up more safety in terms of invading Suning's blue side jungle, which is great when you think that, hey, Dragon's up in 50 seconds, and Suning are getting Herald, which is no surprise when, if you tuned into EDG versus V5, we told you EDG have one of the lowest Herald percentages in the LPL. They completely disregard Herald all the time, instead rather to get Viper ahead and to focus on stacking these Drakes. Oh wow, look at Bin.
He's pushing up very aggressively because his proxy is just plain singed. You know, I'm just thinking, what's that champion's name? He'll get the turret off this as well. So even though we talk about Aatrox not being the greatest split pushing threat, he does enough damage, maybe in a couple of waves time.
To be fair, it's also because we had Jiejie on bot side. Suning knew the Sofm was top, so he had to pay the respect while they were playing for that bottom lane turret. Again, outer turret is one that you actually can get down. It's only that inner turret and inhibitor that get much harder at putting yourself in that harm's way, kind of pushing that bar out in an extended lane.
But sir, you talked about the Dragon play and EDG's priority in the bottom lane. Caught out with a Scout of the Week. On gets almost outplayed. We continue to say that with the R button being used by Scouts. Right, that wasn't even unleashed power. Ooh. Holy moly, Scout still has ult.
Actually, Hysterics, Bin TP'd towards the top lane. Bin is no TP, Flandre does.
Oh, he doesn't.
This could be numbers advantage for EDG.
And keeps getting burst down with Scout doing damage off the back end. Dragon getting low, it's just going to be taken. Flandre TP's down to secure the objective, and Scout moves back to lane. Soul point for EDG, and they've got a 1,000 gold lead to boot.
They should give up top side to Bin right now. We do see Scout making his way up there right now, but I think Bin should have the turret low enough and have enough threat where he could potentially just take that one outright. We also will see the members of Suning start playing towards this top side. But still, I feel like getting on Soul Point is a much bigger feat. And this goes to what we've seen from EDG. As I'm going to pause, though, because Meiko's making his way up here as well. It just goes for the reset in the end. Trying to prevent any shenanigans.
I guess trying to shadow, because On's here too. Sofm there. He has Flash almost up and available. Will be for the engagers. World Ender's popped. Meiko is going to be a big beefy voice sending away Bin. Thank you so much, says Scout. And he'll only get the turret for the cost of his ultimate, while Sofm goes back to trying to steal away some of these camps.
Not going to be able to in the end, though. EDG sending 5 men around this quadrant of the jungle to where you look on your minimap. Angel is farming in bot side. Huanfeng, is farming in mid. But still, they got what they wanted. They evened out the turret trade. And gold is completely even. It even feels like in terms of pressure. Pressure is very even on the map. Suning have been doing a good job at playing with Bin's pressure in terms of Bin has been constantly hovering around the map. We've seen a lot of resources put towards that top side, to where EDG have been playing with their bottom lane. And now it's about kind of that yin and yang and how they translate that into this next dragon fight.
Because you have to fight. It's Soul Point. Meanwhile, Herald down in the mid lane, actually going to be placed down. Is going to get a good charge and should actually kill the turret. So that's the second turret of the game for Suning. They do have an advantage in numbers, but it's just going to get taken down as Viper and Meiko are going to continue to farm up. And as we're heading towards that Soul Point, Lyric, I feel like we're going to do a lot of calculations of items. We still need to see a Mythic come through from Scout, as well as the Archangels turn into Seraphs. We should get to second item territory as well before the Dragon, but maybe we see a fight a little bit earlier, because EDG grouping up as 4 towards this mid lane. Flandre here off the side. The Scatter Week used, flashed away. The feathers fly. Sofm burning his as well, as Unleashed Power has been used. Angel has Flash and the Emperor's Divide, but chooses not to go in, and that was kind of forcing with a couple of summoners down across the board.
Exactly. We saw On trying to look for it. Does force out Scout's Flash, right away. EDG tried to reciprocate. Some flashes come out from Suning, and like you said, trades on both sides, but EDG wanting to play aggressive on this top side. Sadly, Scatter of the Week doesn't land, And guess what, Hysterics? We're just looking at that timer in the top left of our screens now.
Yes, we are. Waiting for the items that'll make the fight. Whether Viper's able to pick up the collector before then or not. He's just been on a farm getaway. You know, you go to vacations to the Bahamas, you go to the Maldives, it's sinking. But the one that all League players want is one on a farm so that they can experience the gold capacity. And you got 196 versus 174 here, bit of a CS lead in the bottom lane. Top lane as well, similar on Bin's side. Through the jungle, actually Jiejie has taken over. And we're just waiting to see who farms up the most, who enjoys their little holiday before 130 is up.
And Flandre just kind of being cheeky with his back timing. We do see Sofm making his way towards the bot side. Again, I don't expect any sort of dive to come through. Scout doesn't have TP, though, if any action did happen. So the fact that Scout is top lane right now could be a potential avenue where Suning can look for a play if they are timing that accurately.
Well, sir, as Huanfeng gets hit, I'm still just going to be waiting. For a minute, we can talk about birds, the bees, life. You know, what actually happens on the farm.
I don't know if we should have the birds and bees conversation on broadcast.
Probably not. If that hasn't been had, ladies and gentlemen, talk to the family. Okay, I'm sure that'll... Let's... when I say the birds and bees, sometimes I think I misrepresent what I actually think it means.
I miss 2020 when we would just talk about The Rock.
Oh, yeah. We talked about the Scorpion King a lot. I actually watched those movies before broadcast to get prepared as Flandre STP, but he's actually in position. Bin's found him. Infernal Chain's there, body slam away. Sofm moves in position as well. We got 30 seconds till the Dragon, and Suning have priority. They want the pick before this starts.
They're looking for it, but it feels like a lot is on the likes of Scout to find that scatter of the week. And for Suning, they're fine. They're fine just pushing in this wave. They're going to make their way to River first. And again, it's just about starting up that Dragon and using those zone control threats to kind of keep EDG at arm's length. I'm watching Scout. I'm watching the scatter of the week.
Has to be good. Has to find that pick as Sofm now turns into a turtle and moves into position. All grouped up as 5 and no flanking angle here for the Aatrox. Dragon spawns and EDG. Group as 5 themselves, and you said to watch Scout. He's at the back.
Scout and Meiko. Meiko also can find a massive engage if he can get a nice headbutt. Pulverize. Ooh!
Explosive cast. They're going for the engage. Meiko's into the back. Dragon secured by Jiejie. They have Ocean Salt. EDG, it's not a drill. As they get a 3-man Pulverize. It's a great one from Angel, but the problem is Soul was given over. Bin in the middle, just going to be taken down by Viper, and it's easy as that when you get all 4 of those beautiful dragons.
And now EDG not only gets sold, but they should be able to make their way towards this Baron as well. Things were looking all right for Suning. They got a pretty good position going into that team fight, but it didn't matter. This EDG roster right now is just playing so well.
It turns on a dime. EDG now move to Baron, and they've got 13 seconds before Scout comes up. Let's see if they're real bros and they wait for their mid laner, so they have 5 Baron buffs. But that fight set up nicely by Flandre. I know we'll see a replay. Lyric, are they bros? Wait for it. Oh, they are.
Yes, they are.
What gentlemen, as we look at how they got their soul.
I really like the way that Flandre waited and used his explosive cask here to separate the team, doing it preemptively as well so the team can try and get onto the Dragon Soul. Oh, really nice headbutt coming out from Meiko as well, just making sure that Jiejie can secure this one. On goes on right away, and oh my god, massive headbutt pulverize coming out from Meiko once again. And that just gave so much room, right? They kept the front line in front of them, and it allowed Viper and Scout to just dish out all the damage. So Meiko and Flandre doing a lot of work in that team fight.
A lot of heavy lifting, makes it easy for Viper and Scout. And, you know, this is why we're complimenting Meiko in Game 1. Complimenting the way EDG have been fighting in this series in general. The 6-0 team in the LPL, if you haven't been watching, this is the best team right now as Jiejie getting chased down, but Bin gets low. Heals up with Gordringer. Viper flashes away. Suning have found a pick, even with the Ocean Soul. Viper's going to go down. Bin getting low on the backside, rather on. As in goes with the Scout of the Week. Bin trying to find the follow-up as well. Meiko's here to dissuade. They're poking them down, and Suning do find a pick, but Scout isn't giving up as Flandre re-engaging, waiting for the body slam. They get the pulverize once again. Sofm flashes over the wall. Scout in an awkward position as Bin gets the Infernal Chains. Scout of the Week at the ready. Waiting is he. Has the range almost there and makes it to give Meiko the kill. on the escape path as well. And even after the good pick from Suning, it doesn't matter, because with Ocean Soul and Baron, they're going to keep pushing.
Yeah, really nice play coming up from them. I'm not sure how Viper ended up in such an awkward position for himself to be in. But EDG, again, they made a great use of time. We saw a lot of good Scout of the Week. Scout managing his distance tethering quite well. And Meiko and Flandre have, again, just been buying so much space, creating so much chaos. Ooh, and Meiko actually just gonna bait them a little bit. It's gonna even out to the inhibitor. But guess what? Viper's already up. They can look to turn to one of the side lanes and start breaking down these structures, because both turrets still up in top side, the inner turret down in bot. It's time to start opening the map for the side of EDG.
And taking everything in between, as Jiejie's doing right now. Meiko hovering alongside with him, and now that Viper's alive that you mentioned, after they clear these wards, they've got an outer turret on the top side. They've got a lot of resources on the map to actually take right now. But EDG, this Baron buff is going to be a huge gold injection as we watch how Suning found the pick again.
Yeah, so Meiko and Viper are the ones to engage on to bin. The Gore Drinker came out early to get him right back to full HP. And all of the members of Suning are able to get there before the likes of Scout and Flandre can arrive. He goes down, but again, keep your eyes on to the likes of Scout. Meiko and Flandre forming this protective wall right in front of him, not allowing Bin or Sofm to get past them. It's giving Scout a lot of breathing room to play with. Jiejie also running forward to force out Sofm's flash. And again, this like 3-man wall in front of Scout runs back. Nice flash coming out from Meiko, chained with the Scout of the Week that Scout had already thrown out. And again, it's just nice play. It's just a good understanding of what formation they need to take in this moment. And it feels like a lot of it's from the fact that these are all veteran players. These are all players who are very accomplished and have played at the highest level.
That's right. Players that people would expect to see on the world stage. I mean, Flandre's never been there. Jiejie as well, of course, hasn't been to the world stage. And unless I'm wrong there, Lyric, I'm going to check that a little bit later. EDG coming to a point now, though, where they're trying to close this game out. 5k gold lead, they've got the Ocean Soul. Elder is available in a minute 30. Baron timer lines up perfectly after the fact if it gets to that. And EDG grouping up once again, as we talked about with the game 1 comp, game 2 comp as well, forcing the 5-man and using the numbers.
Exactly. They don't need to play out this multi-lane setup. They don't even really have the comp to do it. It's very much just 5-man, like Death Ball, run at them together sort of composition. They're just going to whittle them down as Bin looks for an angle.
On gets engaged, though. Magnet Storm lands on 3, but the headbutt pulverized once again from Meiko dissuades him. He bops back Huanfeng, who gets the Blade Caller, but Bin needs to secure here with the Gore Drinker healing up. Jiejie runs back in, Meiko for the engage onto Sofm. Blade Caller flies again as Angel sends him in. Onto Meiko, they'll lose the support as Angel's running for his life. Jiejie locked up as well, and now it's only Scout and Flandre. Sofm on the chase against this Syndra as Flandre bops away. Good body slam while Scout cannot be underestimated. Got a lot of damage on this kit. EDG, they've lost 3. They overpush. It might not be the V5 series, Lyric, but it feels very similar. Scout going over a ward.
Ooh, Flandre though. Okay, he's gonna be able to walk past. But yeah, the thing is, in that exchange, we just saw the benefit of how much range Suning have. They have good wave clear. They have a Azir and Xayah. It's almost gonna be impossible to siege down those turrets. Rel went in to buy them time. They were able to burst out Viper quite easily because, again, Viper has to play forward to go aggressive. Huanfeng and Angel will both be able to hit him in that range. They were down to only one primary damage dealer, and it led to Suning win the fight. EDG need a fight outside of base around a neutral objective to be able to close the gap to get in range to burst out the members of Suning.
And it means that Suning come back and they actually have priority on the Elder Dragon, but they have to survive the fight. Flandre ready to go on in as Meiko head first at level 11 Alistar. Huanfeng off to a side position, and EDG willing to take this up with the Ocean Storm, but that's a 2-man Scout of the Week. Lines him down, Explosive Cask as well. Scuttlecraft will be taken as an afterthought. EDG have a health advantage, of course, and Suning have to decide whether they want to go in.
And keep your eye on mid-super minions. EDG can play patient.
Oh, they found the back. Angel's dead. Empress Divide sends them closer towards Suning as Meiko gets engaged again. Jiejie going forward. Meiko flashes back over the wall as it's a quick teleport. Flandre, you rascal. The fat man wants to end it here. Scout's going to follow up as well. And EDG just keeping them busy. Meiko, a tasty hamburger, but he's going to give you food poisoning, Suning. EDG onto the last Nexus turret. It's only on here to defend. EDG have the damage. A bare Nexus. Jiejie and Viper are just baiting with an unleashed power and the auto attack damage. It's a slow burn, but another 2-0 for EDG with a clean backdoor.
I love how they choose to win it in style. They find the pick onto Angel. They can take the team fight. They can probably